Hey, what's up, family? Welcome back to the Limelight. It's me, Ryan, again. So, let me just update y'all on how Monday went. It was beautiful just to present at the Children in Court conference. Like I said earlier in my announcement, it's just an honor to, stand before court officials and different, judges and attorneys of that nature to advocate for fathers' rights and children's rights. But after, delivering the speech, it was incredible feeling for me when, I got a 1 minute standing ovation after presenting it. And it just goes to show that like all the hard work, dedication, perseverance, it paid off, in that moment right there. And also, it was pretty cool just to stand alongside two other fathers that were all in similar circumstances, but we were able to stand together and, leave a long-lasting impact on the people that attended that conference that day. But afterwards, I remember, a few of the judges coming up to shake my hand and just telling me, hey, you should keep moving forward with this type of work, and that what I said had inspired them. And, it's a small step, a small start to, what type of change you want to see happen. And ultimately, my goal is to see, equal shared parenting in New Jersey, and then eventually, every other state across the U.S. But like I said earlier, it was great to be heard. We're moving in the right direction. This is only the beginning of this movement. So without further ado, let's get into this speech. And before I didn't have a name when I gave the speech, I just went up there and delivered it. But, after a week of thinking about it, I'm going to entitle it A Father's Heart. All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today. I want to start with something personal. When my son was an infant, I used to make his baby food from scratch. Late nights, early mornings, pureeing chicken, green beans, sweet potatoes, and making sure everything was right for him. Not because I had to, because I wanted to, because I'm his father. I shared this once in court. The judge laughed sarcastically, as if it were unbelievable. I remember thinking, why is that funny? Why is it so hard to believe that a father would love his child enough to do something like that? That moment stayed with me because it really wasn't about me. It revealed something deeper, a perception that still exists about men, about fathers, about Black men and Black fathers. That we are not nurturers, that we cannot care for our children in that way. These perceptions matter in places where unbiased judgment should lead, and these perceptions have consequences. For the last 5 years, my son and I have lived through those consequences. 5 years of not being fully heard in court, 5 years of judges and attorneys refusing to review evidence I brought into hearings. 5 years of witnesses not being allowed to testify on my behalf. 5 years of paying over $100,000 in child support obligations that did not accurately reflect the reality of my commission-based income. 5 years of paying more than $120,000 in legal fees. 5 years of having to prove my right to be in my son's life while being called the worst father in Mercer County. We invoke the phrase, the best interest of the child, but too often that standard is applied in ways that strip children of meaningful relationships with loving parents. If that standard were truly honored, children would not lose years with a present and willing parent. One parent would not be allowed to control access to a child without accountability. Families would not be severed, as my son was kept from the entire side of his family for over a year and a half. while the system allowed it to continue. This is not just a legal issue. It is human failure. Children do not understand court filings, litigation strategy, or legal maneuvering, but they understand absence. They feel distance, and they carry that pain long after the hearings end. I stand here today not asking for sympathy. I stand here as a father who refused to give up through the stress, through the financial pressure, the emotional exhaustion, and the uncertainty, because no matter how difficult the process became, my role in my son's life never changed. But now I understand why some great fathers stop trying. It is not because they do not love their children. It is because many of them are drowning financially, emotionally, and mentally while trying to survive a process that feels never ending. The truth is that many fathers simply do not have the support system that I was blessed to have. During one of the most difficult seasons of my life, my parents were always by my side, remaining objective while providing love and help. 2 former clients opened their homes to my son and I. And that was when he was kept from one side of his family for over 1.5 years. That required me to be transparent about my situation and the reality of what I was going through. One client's father was a retired Mercer County judge, and his wife is a senior executive at one of the largest banks in America. Another client is a medical director at one of the nation's top children's hospitals. These families did far more than help financially. They provided stability, wisdom, love, encouragement, and a healthy family environment for my son and I during a time when our lives were under enormous pressure and he could not be around one side of his biological family. I truly thank God for them, because without that support, I honestly do not know where I would be today. That is exactly the point. Many fathers who are fighting to stay connected to their children do not have that kind of support. Some lose hope entirely. Some give up. Some commit suicide. And in the end, the child pays the price. This is not just one case, it's a pattern. A system that too often begins with inequity rather than equality, producing outcomes that fail children. The truth is simple. Children need both parents consistently, meaningfully, and equally. We have changed other deep-rooted injustices in society by challenging what was once considered normal. We must be willing to do the same within the family court system. And I'll leave you with these final thoughts. Do the judges who sit on these benches ever stop to consider that the fathers standing before them are human beings just like they are? There are men like me and countless other fathers who are not fighting against their children, but fighting for them. How would you feel if your own son had to navigate this system? How would you feel if prolonged litigation, financial exhaustion, and repeated court battles prevented you from seeing your grandchildren or maintaining a meaningful relationship with your child? As of January 2026, New Jersey's family court system continues moving further away from a presumption of equal shared parenting and toward a system increasingly centered on litigation, enforcement, and financial outcomes rather than cooperative parenting and family restoration. Under Title IX-D, states receive federal incentive funding connected to child support, enforcement, and collection. Yet, there are few, if any, structural incentives focused on preserving healthy co-parenting relationships, shared parenting, and strong father-child bonds. At the same time, a culture of repeated and often unchecked litigation stands in direct opposition of the spirit of NJSA 2A 15-59. a statute created to discourage frivolous litigation and protect citizens from unnecessary legal abuse. No parent, mother, or father should be allowed to weaponize the court system to destroy the relationship between a loving parent and their child. We need a system built on truth, accountability, balance, and the genuine best interests of the children, not one fueled by conflict, financial pressure, or emotional retaliation. We do not need more division. We need real justice. And most importantly, our children deserve better. So let's do better. And that's a wrap, y'all. And also that, everything that was said was meaningful and it left a lasting impact. But, to anybody that's out there that's going through, a situation like this, or in general, any type of major life drama, whatever it may be, I'm a living testimony. I'm a living proof that, whatever you're going through is not bigger than God. So if you always leave it in God's hands, He's going to find a way to pull you out of any situation. He's going to find a way to get you to the other side. It may not be right away because, many times when you're in, situations like this, it's also shaping and molding you. So don't ever lose sight of that. And, many times it's tough to navigate, all the emotions that you're feeling, what you have to do every day. You still got all your responsibilities. You got to pay the bills. You got to go to work. Your children need you. So, it's a bunch of things that you have to navigate. But I would say you have to really strive in the midst of all of that is to, find your way back to the Word of God and, just get right with Jesus. And that's a process in itself too. It's a journey, just like going through any type of prolonged trauma or, adverse situation. It's a journey. So, you got to give yourself grace. But what you want to do is, move forward every day. Yeah. Even if you feel like you're moving back some weeks, because sometimes we do, we're not perfect. But the point is, as you're on your way of navigating through nonsense, the mess, the drama, you want to always approach it from a positive side. And then sometimes it's hard to look at things positively when you have so much on your shoulders. But, I laugh because, there's joy in that feeling that even though there's something meant to destroy you, it did, and you're standing and you're living proof. So, and those are the type of the things that you want to kind of, meditate on and think about day in and day out, because we can always overthink our situations. We can always keep ourselves in a negative loop, in a negative pattern, but what good is that? So I look at the parallels of training and, believing in God and, working on building yourself up. And a lot of those principles that we see in the Bible go hand in hand with what we do from a workout standpoint, right? So a lot of times you're going through a workout session, you may feel weak, just like your life. Like you might be going through some hard times, and during those times you feel weak. You're not showing up, 100% of the time. So you're stumbling, you're falling into sin. You're struggling with certain things in your life. But little do you know, or little do we know, that this is a part of life. This is how we get shaped and molded. This is how we get stronger. Just like you getting underneath a certain weight, you're gonna have to keep pushing that weight until eventually it gets easy. And then once that gets easy, guess what? We get rewarded with more weight, but that's the process that we go through. But I hope, what was said in your speech, really inspired people. If you know anybody that's going through, battles with their kids, share this with them. I'm actually going to do or create another video where I'm going to just give the speech by itself without me talking before or afterwards. But and I just hope that you know, people can, really truly believe in themselves, but then more so believe in, God and in what God placed in you. Because no matter the circumstance, no matter, what you're going through, He has a plan for your life. And that's the thing you really have to hold on to, is that, hey, God's got me no matter what. And whatever situation it may be, I'm going to get to the other side. But that's all I have for today, y'all. Peace and love. I'll be back soon. And we'll be continuing to move forward with this content. All right.